Alright, so we find ourselves in another Sunday. Um, well, I'm back to reasonable amounts of production in the shop. Oh, shit. There we go. Sorry about shaking my little phone around. We're down to reasonable productions in the shop. I've got a balancing act. That's what it is. I've got projects that are in with deposit and they need to go. They're old. They're overdue. So this one is right now the Chevelle. My aim is to get it. I'm repairing some chassis issues. I'm repairing some floor bracing, body mount issues, like a couple spots on top of the chassis. The hole where the body bushing is supposed to be the hole, the body bushing sits down, and so forth. It's gone. It's like this big around. The whole body bushing pulled through the frame. So I got to cut that section out and replace it with 1/8 inch or 10 gauge steel, which is what was there before by all my accounts and research. So now it's got body bushing holes again. It's got floor braces again. It's almost ready to drop back on the chassis, get bolted down so I can patch in the floor sections, cut out the trunk pan. So I'm moving forward on stuff that's late. The Chevelle is my main thrust, my main focus right now. There's one of me, so I try to focus on one car. I keep in queue something that pays on time. Small projects, I have to have something income based as well, not just a project that when my overhead ate me alive and left me bankrupt, and it's sitting here with me to make up a lot of time on, I owe the project. So I have to make that time back. I have to make those materials back, whatever it is. I have to make XYZ before it gets to a point of, hey, Mr. Smith, can I have $500 for this? I've put this much time in it. I'm at this point. I need a little cash just to keep fluid, to keep pushing on your project. I've got 4 of them that are like that. 5 of them that are like that I'm gonna have to push to a point, and then I'm in the clear, and then it's a project again. It's a fluid project again, and I can actually make it a priority without having to bring other work in to fill the financial void. So that makes sense. Pretty sure. Next to that, in my tiny little shop, I got sitting a 55 Austin Healey that I'm doing metal work on. That's my on-time gig. That's what brings me change during the cold month that I'm not making anything on getting caught up. So I have to juggle 2 worlds very tenuously. I have to keep my primary focus on projects that are behind and get enough done on the other projects that it's moving forward. I'm making enough, and that customer stays satisfied as well. If you've been following, we've been through all where the situation is right now. We've found a location that we are, hopes, prayers, candles, voodoo spells, whatever it takes, trying to make this a reality. I think too much. There you go. That's part of my problem. But I think in the last dozen years of my life, I have kept this vision of, to me, in my personal existence, what equates to happiness and success. Because, see, each person's vision of success and happiness is obviously different. We can't all be the same. But I think that ideology has poisoned the well. Best facsimile I've got. I think it's put me in a position where everything else I've done falls short of this picture. I think that leads me into the problems with anything that I'm performing, anything that I'm being even remotely successful with at the moment isn't enough. This is where I think self-analyzing, really sitting here and pondering. I went very, very broke over the last couple weeks, and I have dug out my great grandfather's little tobacco pipe. This is my great grandfather's. Last time it was used for tobacco and only. It's never. I don't do that. I don't have moral issues. I just don't do that. I think this last it was used was probably in the 70s. And my granddad would palm it. The kids never saw him smoke. They never. I think in some ways he was a better man than I. And so I've sat here. I haven't accomplished the bulk of hours I should in the shop. I've been in a real funk. I've been depressed. Fact of the matter. You guys following this journey for the last 4 years of Sunday Morning Coffees know kind of where it's at. New to the show, it's not that exciting, but if you want, you can go back and check out what's gone on. It's its own fucking drama-filled roller coaster ride. But I've been sitting here with my bag of Gambler tobacco, looking at the work ahead of me and what I got to do, pondering life, the hereafter. We got some stuff on the family front that was catastrophic news. I'm not getting into it because it's not my story of woe to share, but it's going to be rough. And that's got me thinking about life in the here and now a lot more. What I've accomplished, what I haven't accomplished, what I want to accomplish. So that tempers everything yet further. Or that I shouldn't say tempers, that skews everything yet further of what is here and now versus what this vision, this idea. And my idea is simple. I want to be out in a rural property, small acreage, with my family, basically homesteading, not specifically making it off the land, but making it and living, and not just surviving, but living within the means of what we can produce there on the small acreage, whether it be a shop and my work here, or other aspects that we can bring in with minimum to moderate investment to do, just to eke out a comfortable financial existence. That's been my ideology as long as I can remember, a very strong notion in my brain, a very strong pull for the last dozen or so years. That skews everything. I could be the most, quote, successful running a shop, but if I can't attain that, I've still got that nagging where I'm not accomplishing what I'm supposed to. And really, accomplishing what I'm supposed to is nothing more than simplifying it further. I live in Iowa. It doesn't get much simpler. I want to live in rural Iowa. So that's what's been on my head. It's what I've been pondering. Asking the ancestors, those I've known and those I have no way of ever having known, for guidance and wisdom. I'm a weird guy like that. That's how I function. I'm not going to get into the pseudo theological aspect of my existence. It has no place here. I've thrust it in here before, but it has no place here. The psychology of it is I've never been able to grasp what's here and now because it's not where I want or need to be. I'm very genuinely envious of people that can just go, put the time in, clock out, go home. I'm incapable. Tried. I worked for some very good people over the years. It just doesn't... I'm not wired that way, and it sucks. I would rather be. It makes a few things easier. So, I'm going to grind as heavy as I'm capable of, put as many hours in as I'm capable of on the Chevelle, because I want to get back to the Jarnigan family. And then I'm going to bring the next one in. And then I'm going to bring the next one in. And then, pretty soon I'll be wrapping up my final projects I've got on hand. I don't really solicit for additional work right now. If I need something small, I'll make a couple calls and get something small. I got a motorcycle tank that it needs completely stripped, body worked, primer, blocked, sealed, painted, all fresh and new. We're going to fix the sides of the tank where it's badly damaged, do a teardrop in that of a different color, so next year or the year after he can bring me the whole bike and I'll repaint the whole bike. There's chips or scratches or shit in the paint that I don't like, but that's what the owner wants, so I'm going to give that to him. Little things like that I will go out and dig up through my usual customers, the customers I maintain relationships with. My quality repeats over the last few years. But like I said, it's not a pity, woe's me. It's not an I'm an idiot. It's just, it's the reality of my existence right now. I've been very depressed, crippling at points. This happens to many people. I'm not special in that regard. This is how I'm working through it. I could sit here and beat myself up, call myself an idiot, call myself, any number of things that aren't very flattering. I'm done with that. I'm done with finding all the faults. I've got many. I've got lapses in my education in any given field that I wish weren't there. But what I know, I hold own. I'm good at. I'll focus on that. I'll focus on my kids. I'll focus on my wife and my family. And let that give me the meaning. We're hoping and praying and like I said, whatever you want to throw into that conglomerate about this property we're looking at. It puts us on a 3-acre farm acreage. And it's far enough out of civilization that I can breathe. Far enough out of civilization you can look up in the sky at night and see the Milky Way. But close enough that travel times are reasonable, if we so deem it. It's going to get rockier here because I can't vacate, clean up, and get out of here in the allotted time frame I've been given. So that'll get kind of rocky. I've been focusing on projects I'm behind on and wrapping up loose ends that don't pay terrifically well. So the financial side is very rocky. But in that also, I've had downtime where I can't muster motivation to just go and grind away and work. I'm listing things online that need to go away. I'm contacting people for help and assistance in areas that I can garner a positive means from. So I'm not wasting my time, I'm just not utilizing it to its fullest. But it's better than sitting here paralyzed by fear, regret, and depression. And I was there. I've been there. We're in the 7th month, going into the 8th. Out of 8 months this year, I've been gripped with fear, paralyzed by fear, regret, and depression 4 of those months, where I just haven't gotten anything good done. My good friends, and I say good friends because of what they've provided for me and my family. We don't chum, we don't go out to the lake together, we don't go drinking together, but they're good people. Over at Des Moines Customs helped me out a lot because I had purpose, I had obligation to go in there and do the best work I could for as many hours as I was capable of. And they didn't peck at me. They didn't. It was a good environment. So that helped. Good people, surrounding yourself with good people is important. I don't know if I really said anything in 15 minutes. But here you go. Here's a summary. You can skip to the end and watch this. I am getting solid forward progress on cars that are behind. I will have this Chevelle damn near ready before I have to leave here. I think I'll have bits and pieces I have to acquire and put on it. And that should be it. It'll be in the same position the El Camino was when it came over here. The Healy I'm working on, it's a time filler. And those owners will actually show up today. I can't see my clock, but they'll show up today around 3 to see where I'm at. I'm going to peel some money out of that guy so I've got money. I'm selling off things that I don't want to have to move or I have no use for anymore. Horse trading for things, you know, the usual. That's where that's at. I ran a list I had on Craigslist, and I'm getting rid of all this firewood. I probably got a dozen cord worth of firewood unsplit sitting here in various sizes of logs. I'm getting rid of it. I'm going to clean up the property, the fence rows. I'm going to make this place nice before I have to leave it for the guy that owns it so he can sell it easily. That's my goal there. That's where I'm at. I don't know what else to say. Depression's a bitch. Hang on. There's a lot of that going around lately, but hang on. It does get better. It does get easier. I don't know if I'll ever be free of the grips of depression. It's a clinical thing throughout my family line. But I need to be here for my children when it strikes them, so I can show them the methods of coping and show them the methods of moving on and show them it gets better. Nothing else. I'm here to teach my children how to deal with their depression, because likely it's going to strike. That's a bad genetic marker I've handed down. Alright, I've eaten up a lot of your time. I thank you all for your continuing support, input, chastising. I've been called pretty much everything, including my name, via this channel. And I put out some pretty trashy, horrible videos. I leave them up there. I just leave them up there because it's a badge that I can wear on my sleeve of where I come from, where I started, how ignorant I was, as opposed to how ignorant I am now. I'm still ignorant in a lot of ways, but I learn. And I would rather put this out there to folks so they're not afraid to learn, they're not afraid to ask. Just figure it out. Go do it. I'm going to talk to y'all later. I'm going to go and spend some time with the family, and then I'm going to get out here and work on this Healy before the owner shows up. I want something to show them of categoric advancement. That way I can get money, and I get to play with a TIG this week. I haven't played with a TIG welder in years. I have to TIG aluminum, so now I got to figure out what aluminum exactly is used on this Healy, so I can start making aftermarket neat looking parts fit this little car, because shit don't fit. You have a good one.